The monster, Naoya Inoue, lives up to his name on Friday morning as he knocks out Yi Jun Kim in the fourth round. My first note, he is so good. I just the accuracy that he throws every punch with, and it's easy power. There's no loading up on anything, but it's just the way that he is built and the tight punches that he is able to throw is exceptional. And that power that he has for a guy who started at 108 pounds. I was 108 pounds when I was 9, probably less than that. Like, he is the power that he can have going from 108 to 114 to 122 now is otherworldly and should be studied. If this were a movie, it would be okay. Guys at that weight class don't knock guys out like this. But he's doing it to everybody, and everything is accurate. It is pinpoint perfection from him. The one thing I need to remember next time from a gambling standpoint, my guy's a slow starter. And so those trying to find some value on that one, we do end up hitting on under. We got the exact round right that the finish was going to get into, but we tried 4 before that, and it didn't really work. So came out, I think, breaking even on that one. But he is not a quick starter. He is going to let you kind of work a few things out and see, okay, where is this attack that I'm going to do coming from? And I thought that was an opportunity for Kim to try to take advantage. And we saw him, he would have moments. He would have a couple like ping, bang, boom. Okay, here he comes. Here we go. Didn't do anything else after that. It's like, okay, well, why? Like, it's target practice at this point. And he's trying to open up in a way because what you're assuming is you are the 11th ranked contender and he is fighting in his home country again in Japan and he is expected to just run right through you. So you think he's going to come out and just be super aggressive and just be the monster and just try to pound you down. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to counter. And that doesn't really come. And Inoue is waiting to counterpunch a little bit. And so you just get this kind of standoff. And for Kim, that is an excellent way to survive rounds. That is no way to pull off an upset when you're plus 1,600 as an underdog. And so I thought he fought the perfect way to lose that fight. And it ends up going away. And he gets kind of lulled into it. And then he tries to break Inoue out of his shell. Like, hey, come on. And then skadoosh. And the night is done. And he is up there looking at the lights. So again, like we built up Inoue throughout all of last week. A lot of that coverage, I mean, stands, right? Like the resume has grown by 1, but with all due respect to Kim, not a significant one. And the pound for pound rankings, we're going to do it again on Wednesday because, you like the content, but they're not changing a whole lot. Inoue goes from 1 to 1. Like, that's not altering things all that much. So a lot of it kind of stays the same because this one, when we got to Friday last week, or Thursday, I guess in this case, to break down it and preview it, it's like, well, this guy's the best knockout puncher in the world, and he's facing the number 11th ranked guy for one of the 4 belts that he has. How do we think this is going to go? And so then the fight plays out, and it was, how did you think it was going to go? He did what he was supposed to do. He went out, he got hit a couple of times and then recognized where his openings were, took advantage, and finished brilliantly. I do think, like, what is next for this guy? And we'll do more of this as the week goes on. What's the next fight to make for Naoya Inoue? But, like, for now, it needs to be bigger, right? It needs to feel like a bigger deal. It needs to be a bigger thing. But the thing is, like, at 31, he's a pound for pound number 1 in my books. If he wants to go out and just keep knocking suckers out in arenas across Japan in his home country for the rest of his life, fill your boots, man. You're doing it. You got my attention. It's working. But if we want to turn this guy into a real superstar, then it should be happening at T-Mobile Arena or Vegas or, begrudgingly, Saudi Arabia, or one of those locations to get those fights going and to get this guy really into that big time discussion. So the next fight for him, we're not going to say who it should be yet because still got to work through a bit of that, but it should feel bigger than this. I was thinking about this, like, how do we build this guy up? And look, like the YouTube numbers on this fight for us here at Couch Potato, compared to our other stuff, it did pretty well. It wasn't Fury Usyk or Canelo, but it was above an average week for us with all of that stuff with him. So there is some attention being paid on this cat, but it's not nearly what it should be from a mainstream perspective. I'm on Sportsnet 960. They know me as the combat guy. Name didn't come up once this week when I was on there a couple of times, and probably not going to come up when I'm back on there today. Like, he is not a mainstream star right now here in North America. And I do think there is a little bit of elitism when it comes to, well, we need to make him a bigger star. It's like, well, I don't know, man. He's probably rich. He's a 2-division undisputed champion, and he gets to fight in his hometown all the time and knock a bunch of guys out and build up an incredible resume. So what star do you need to make when he's doing these things? But it's just like selfishly, I would love it. And so I'm trying to think like, what do we do to get this guy into a bigger stratosphere? The one thing, and it's weird to talk about this in a boxing sense, we need to get another video game out here. Why have we gone like a full generation and a bit with no new boxing game? And Fight Night Champion was fine, but a real legit boxing game. I feel like if you get this guy on there and just like float out a couple videos like, hey, this guy knocking people out, like he feels like you make him like the '04 Michael Vick of boxing games and try to rocket the star up that way, especially if he's going to be sticking around in Japan. Also, the Eddie Hearn comment saying like, oh, well, he should be knocked out of the pound for pound rankings because he didn't fight my guy. He's just fighting people that nobody have heard about. He needs to fight my guy that nobody has heard about. It's the lower weight classes. Very, like, the fact that he has been able to break through in this way, very few guys really get to do that. And so any suggestion that he is ducking guys at this point is asinine. The amount of weight class jumps that he has made and champions that he has fought is absurd. So to consider any thought that Inoue is ducking guys, you miss me with that. It's not the case in any way, shape, or form.